Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. Did you think I'd be back? Well, reading some of the comments on my last video, you would think that the channel was being shut down and I was nothing more than a CIA shill here to trick you all. So let's just start today's video and touch on the elephant in the room, which was my last video that I posted this past April 1st, entitled, "The Experiment is Over." Now, if you didn't see this, and most of you have, because the video did very well, got a ton of views, pissed a whole lot of people off, tricked a lot of people, made a lot of people laugh. I mean, it was really fun, but if you didn't see the video, it was an April Fool's prank where I created this sort of confessional tape explaining that this YouTube channel had been nothing more than an experiment to trick all of you guys into believing aliens were real when they really weren't. And I think it went over pretty well, and I gotta say, guys, I'm honestly surprised by just how many people this fooled. Now, if you've been with me for even a couple of years, you'll know that I take full advantage of any type of holiday, April Fools being one of them. And almost every April Fools, I pretend that I'm gonna shut down the channel, or something similar to that. So I figured a lot of you would see this right away and know that it was a joke. One of the years, I stated that I was going to keep the channel, but that I was going to focus mainly on my other true love, which was cute kittens and the reviewing of kitten toys, and that would be what the new channel was about. And so, yeah, on a whim, I said, well, it's April Fool's, what can I do? And I said, well, this time I'm going to post a video admitting that I'm a secret agent and that aliens never existed. And I figured that it may work because of how many new subs and viewers that we have. And even for the ones who've been with me for years, it worked as well. Reading from the comments, I think I fooled, I'll say 70% of the viewers who watched the video who literally thought that what I was saying was the truth. And so I was already getting angry emails, people canceling their Patreon pledges, unsubscribing. And I gotta say, when people are unsubscribing and they're sending you rage-filled emails, then you know that your April Fool's prank was a success. And other people, went a little further. And I guess now, since that video, there is a new conspiracy, which was that I actually am, in fact, a secret agent, and that everything I said in that video was real, but to then cover it up under the guise of nothing more than a prank. Well, let's just shut this down here. It was an April Fool's prank, alright guys? I'm not sitting in some dark CIA basement room in hopes of brainwashing the masses. I assure you. I mean, most of the time I'm sitting here and I have a cat sitting in my lap or something like that, but I'm not a secret agent, and I assure you it was just a prank, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had fun making it, just something I threw together, and it seemed to be a success. So let's get to the topic of today's video, the first topic, that is, which were a set of some very strange lights seen over the Detroit, Michigan area and surrounding areas. So check this out.
What the hell is this? They were flickering lights and there's a bunch of people pulled over on 75. What the fuck? They're changing colors? Yeah, but what is it?
Okay, so this was posted to Facebook by Kaylin Nicole Adams. I'll put the link down below. We have what appeared to be lights definitely in formation, multiple lines of lights that then start moving around, turning into other shapes. I have another video here that was also sent to me by a viewer whose daughter was driving home just north of Flint, heading towards Detroit, and caught this here. And of course, we've had other people sending in some Snapchat pics and videos and stuff, so I think it's pretty clear we have multiple witnesses to whatever this event was. Now, we have some potentially, mysterious, off-world reasons for these lights, but at the same time, it could also be something as simple as maybe a drone show. In the recent couple of past years, we've been seeing more and more like big companies will hold these, what they're called drone shows. We'll have hundreds of these lit up drones that will create these magnificent pieces of, flying art. in the sky. And so that very well could be. I mean, it was kind of strange to me that this was over Detroit, so I'm trying to figure out what was going on there. If any of you guys out there have any new info, put it down below. But definitely, I would obviously wonder what the heck it was and post it online, so thank you guys who did. Now, in other news, if you remember a couple of videos back, we were discussing some of these strangities, as I like to call them, happening around the world. From weather phenomena, orange snowstorms, giant cracks in the earth happening all over the world, animals, birds, insects, all acting strange, and whether something was on the horizon. And one of the key sources that clued us in to this strangeness was an article posted on the blog of Linda Moulton Howe. You remember I talked about her, a well-known UFO researcher, and she created a post that was originally called "Something's Not Right in Southern Oregon," and the article referenced to a number of emails that Mrs. Howe had received from people around South Oregon describing the almost total disappearance of a number of different bird species, from hummingbirds to swallows to crows to vultures. And to follow up today, Mrs. Howe has now posted another article, and this relates to something else that has recently occurred. So I'm kind of connecting the pieces here, but we'll get to that in a second. So I want to discuss this new blog post, again by Mrs. Howe on her website, titled this time, "Something Still Very Wrong in Southern Oregon," which is a pretty disturbing follow-up on the missing birds and insects in Rogue Valley. And so I'll put a link to it down below. You guys can head over and read the entire thing, but just kind of paraphrasing from some of these new emails that she's also received, with one man speaking on the fact that for years now, that there have been swarms of upwards of 40 Anna hummingbirds that would feed from his feeders every morning and evening, and how now those same swarms of hummingbirds are now gone. They've gone ghost, as they say. The man stating that he hasn't seen one, not a single hummingbird in over a month, and that something is definitely amiss. And so in my last couple of videos, we were talking about whether this strange behavior from our local wildlife, although never proven definitively in a scientific forum, has been confirmed many times over in anecdotal evidence. And so to add to this, we know that Oregon and California are both located on or near the San Andreas Fault. And as I was reading over the news today, it came to my attention that an earthquake has recently hit the San Andreas, or as some people call it, the Big One, fault line 3 times in the same place in California. Or in other words, California has been rocked by 3 earthquakes, all of them that hit almost precisely in the exact same spot, and they did it in less than 24 hours along this notorious San Andreas fault line. All the quakes struck about 30 minutes from south of San Jose, California, on the western coast of the U.S. Now, just real quick, when I heard them talking about how this happened right near San Jose, California, well, that reminded me of another very recent video I posted, if you guys will remember, where we were discussing this mystery light that startled residents of, you guessed it, San Jose. And in that video, we were discussing surveillance footage taken by the camera belonging to one of the homeowners of this mysterious slow-moving object. You guys remember? I mean, it was just steadily moving across the sky, followed by a big white flash of light, which then caused, this massive boom. It completely shook houses, shattered windows, sent people out. Obviously, this time it was not a meteor, and related it to something jumping into warp speed or warp drive, or some of the UFO footage that we've seen in the past where these things will disappear but in their wake leave a bright flash of almost what looks like a plasma discharge, and is very similar to this footage here. So we have that phenomenon, very strange, that occurred in San Jose. Then we have these articles coming out of Southern Oregon as well as California, talking about the animals have gone missing. The insects, the local wildlife, the hummingbirds, they're all acting strange. If they're not missing, then they're being weird. only to find out days later we have an earthquake on one of the most notorious fault lines, which just happens to be right in the neighborhood where all of this strangeness, both in the sky and with the local wildlife, is happening, and not to mention 3 earthquakes at a time all hitting in the exact same spot. So my question, is it all correlated? And is this why the local wildlife population is acting so strange? And while the quakes were relatively low on the Richter scale, could this just be the beginning? And will there be more to come? What are the animals trying to tell us? Again, I will follow this story, and I ask you to send me in emails regarding any sort of strange behavior happening with animals, wildlife, birds, you name it. Send me an email. That way we can also gather intel here, and then later correlate it with the info that Mrs. Howe has been gathering. So, very, very mysterious times, guys. Before we go today, I just have a couple of pics to show you, the first of which comes of a very creepy-looking saucer-shaped cloud that was snapped above Reno, Nevada this past weekend. When a man was driving home, he looked up and saw this cloud shaped like a saucer, totally smooth all the way around, just sitting there like a sore thumb, with no other clouds even remotely looking like this one in the vicinity. And so he said it was totally wild, had to take a pic of it. Now, we have seen many natural cloud formations that look similar to these throughout the years, but again, we've also discussed some of the mechanisms with which alien ships can use, and not even really alien, but secret technology down here from Earth, created by the powers that be, that can use similar cloaking tech, disguising itself as a cloud. And we've seen, and I've featured many videos here on the channel, where mysterious objects that seem to almost be hiding or blending in with the clouds have made themselves known, either on purpose or inadvertently. But that is where I will leave it. Natural or not, really, really interesting pics, and thanks to Randy for sending them in. With that, I'm going to get back to work, guys. I want to thank you for sticking with me all of these years and for being good sports with the April Fool's joke video that I posted. And, you know, for those of you who maybe got upset, again, I sincerely apologize. It's a big joke. You guys will come to find, especially if you're new, you'll come to find that I'm a jokester. I like to play pranks. April 1st, I'm always looking for something new to try on you guys, but just know that I do it from a place of love and friendship, and I just like to mix it up sometimes. So you guys know where to find me here. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter for new updates, and I will see you all back in just a bit.